Group by with multiple columns. We've just learned how to group by values when using aggregate functions. We also saw how to find occurrences of a single value. What if we want to show two values and the number of occurrences? We can use group by with multiple columns. The same rules apply for single columns. You just need to make sure that all the columns in the select clause that aren't aggregate functions are in the group by clause. So, if we wanted to see the count of last names and department IDs, we could do that. Let's see an example. Let's write a query to find the last names and department IDs and the count of them. We start with select and then last name. Then we add in the department ID and then the count column. We're going to select this from the employee table. Now we need to have a group by clause here because we're using count. We want to add group by and then we want to add the last name column and the department ID column. Now let's run this query. We can see a list of last names, a list of departments, and then the count of those columns. You can see that most of them are 1, but here we have a last name of Sanders, department ID of 7, and there are 2 of those. Now, let's order our results by the last name. You can see it's listed all the last name values here, and for each of those, the department IDs that match. So you can use order by with group by on multiple columns. Now, let's order by the count column in descending order. You can see there are several last name and department ID combinations that have a count of 2. What if we want to see if there are any duplicate names in our employee table for both first names and last names? We can select both the first name and the last name from the employee table, and then also run a count function from employee. We also need to run a group by clause as well. If we run this query, we can see the first names and last names and the count of those. If we do a quick scroll, nothing really stands out. They all seem to have the value of 1. Now let's order our data here. If we order by first name and last name, it'll order by first name, and then when it finds a match, it'll order by last name. What if we want to order by the count column to see if there are any duplicates? It looks like ordering by count in descending order has shown the value of 1, so there are no duplicate names in this table. We can have as many columns as we like. Let's copy this query and add in the department ID. We still need to select from employee, but we then need to group by department ID. This will also show a count of 1. So, that's how you can use group by with multiple columns. It works with 2, 3, and many more columns. Next, we'll look at how to filter data in a different way using group by.